For sure. Garrett Tenney in the newsroom. Garrett, thank you. Liz has got a lot more.
I do. So who is Bob Mueller, and what do those who have worked with him think about his selection to head up the investigation? Former FBI Director Steve Pomerantz joins us now, and obviously a very good friend of the show. We always call you when we need your expertise.
Thank you. Of course, you promoted me as well. I was not the director.
Assistant Director.
Assistant Director.
I should have slipped that in there because I knew that. All right, so I do want to ask you, these investigations take months, if not years, but he's not starting from scratch. I think folks need to know that he's not starting with a clean slate.
Yeah.
What is he stepping into from someone who...
Yeah, and that's a very good point. I mean, it's not a clean slate. It's not a new beginning. It's a new leader for the investigation itself. But this investigation has been going on for a long time, primarily with FBI agents. It will be assumably the same team, again, with a new leader. But it's a well-developed investigation. It's been aggressively pursued for several months. So some people criticize the fact that it's gone on that long, but there's no timetable associated with these things. This is complex. It's difficult. I'm sure they're going in lots of different directions. It may take more months. It's impossible to know.
And people need to know that to be patient, because the definition, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, with a special counsel is that this particular individual is looking for criminal activity, but it is not his job necessarily to disseminate any information between now and when the findings are complete.
Another good point, and that's exactly right. Given his personality, by the way, speaking of Bob Mueller's personality, he is not one who seeks media attention. In fact, I'd have to say he likes working out of the limelight. And another thing I have to say, it's in my experience in dealing with the media, that oftentimes the media mistakes a lack of public information leaking out or being given out as a lack of progress in the investigation. Not true. Sometimes exactly the opposite. The fact that there's not a lot of publicity in the course of the investigation does not mean that there's not substantial progress being made.
At the same time, we know that there are a number of investigations taking place right behind us at the Capitol. Do lawmakers need to take a step back, maybe?
Yeah.
And maybe focus on...
That's another real problem,
legislation.
Elizabeth. That's another real problem, because this is a criminal investigation. You started out that way, pointing out this is a criminal investigation. And things that can inadvertently get in the way of a criminal investigation in terms of something parallel going on in the Congress can seriously have serious impact on a criminal investigation. So in a perfect world, in my view, as an FBI person, Congress ought to just step away from this while the
They're
FBI,
not going to.
But the real world in Washington, D.C., that's just not going to happen.
We've already done a number of segments on the fact that former FBI Director James Comey will be testifying sometime after Memorial Day. When we hear about those public hearings, yes or no, do they have any impact on the actual FBI investigation?
They can. They can.
Because he's a private person. He can say what he wants.
He can say what he wants. It's not, that's correct. But could what he said or any other any other activity revealing? I mean, I assume of all the potential witnesses, Comey knows what not to say in terms of impacting on a criminal investigation. Others, maybe not so much. You don't know what you say publicly, the impact that might have on other witnesses. Other people's hear that and shape their own testimony based on what they hear publicly, and that's what you don't want. So, yeah, it can have an impact. I think in the case of a criminal investigation and Mr. Comey's testimony, I wouldn't anticipate that.
All right. Well, Steve Pomerantz, thank you so much for joining us. The story's not going anywhere, so we're going to have you back sometime soon.
My pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Leland?
Great conversation. Back to the Middle East as the president wraps up his trip to Saudi Arabia. Israel, the man on the left, Prime Minister Netanyahu, is preparing for his arrival. And also South America, Venezuelans taking to the streets in protest of a government they blame for raging violence and what is currently happening, food shortages and economic collapse.
Yeah, these new Beneful Break and Bites are great. They'll break off a couple if you sit, you stay. But if you want all four, you gotta get cute. You gotta let a baby sleep on your belly.
New Beneful Break and Bites, with real beef as the #1 ingredient.
Did you know 90% of couples disagree on mattress firmness? Fortunately, there's a bed where you both get what you want every night. Enter Sleep Number and the semi-annual sale going on now. Sleep IQ technology tells you how well you slept and what adjustments you can make. She likes the bed soft. He's more hardcore. So your sleep goes from good to great to wow. Only at a Sleep Number store. Oh, and right now, it's our lowest price ever on our temperature balancing i8 bed. Save $700. Go to sleepnumber.com for a store near you.
Candace, 2 minutes. Too late for lunch.
Stockers, save the